Welcome to the internet.
Hi, internet. Long time no see.
Welcome to the internet.
The internet.
Hi, this is a new podcast. Thank you, internet.
Thank you, internet.
Wait. Have we decided between thank you, internet, or thank you, the internet?
I still think thank you, the internet sounds pretty pretentious.
Why? How is that pretentious? No, because the internet, it's always the internet.
Oh,
because the internet.
Okay, you know what? All right.
Thank you, the internet.
Thank you, the internet. Well,
Or thank you, internet.
Yeah, thank you. Because thank you, internet sounds more or less like conversational and like...
Thanks, internet. I
Yeah.
guess it makes sense.
Yeah.
Thank you, the internet sounds more like weird internet stuff. Like, wow, we are going to be weird and we are on the internet. It's not necessarily like weird stuff.
Yeah.
Like, we're trying to be more like, hey, we're
We're-
almost like historians of the internet.
We are walking through the zoo that is the internet, where all the different genres are locked away in cages and we can stay safe distance away. Like, oh, hey, look, there's YouTube poop. Hello, YouTube
Don't
poop.
get too close or he'll bite.
Look out for the bronies.
Now, no feeding the trolls.
But damn it. But Dad, I wanted to feed the trolls. No, if you feed the trolls, they'll just get bigger.
And everything will catch on fire. So this is a podcast we're making. We're gonna try to for those of you who are new, which is everybody, because this is episode 1, unless you've listened to some episodes and gone back in time, in which case, hi. Thank you for coming back. Since you're coming to us from the future, why didn't you tell us about whatever crazy disaster is gonna happen 6 months from now? You're an asshole.
Thanks, internet.
That was my attempt at a joke. No,
it was funny to me. I just didn't laugh.
didn't want to laugh because you don't. Yeah, okay.
It was funny. It was funny.
So, yeah, we're gonna talk about internet things. Oh, you doing okay there?
Yeah, just the blue mic keeps wanting to turn away from me because it knows I'm not funny.
Oh. But yeah, no,
Yeah, go
that's
ahead.
what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about like the whole thesis of this podcast is like talking about internet things and highlighting fandoms and creators, and Michael's gonna butt in with something sounding more intelligent.
Well, yeah. No, it's more specifically, this podcast is to showcase the importance of the internet and the and how it's affected us as a society, as a community, as a nation, as a species. To be honest, we're like basically the magnifying glass showing you guys what specific genres, specific areas of the internet that have influenced people's lives, various people's lives.
That, and we're just gonna shout out stupid internet memes at random junctions because, you know, that sounds fun as well.
Leroy Jenkins! And there it is.
How'd
you get
so
here?
who are we? Well, we are no strangers to love.
If you weren't gonna say it, I was.
You know the rules.
Oh, God.
So do I. I'm so glad your brain went there as well.
Episode 1, we're already rickrolling.
No joke. When I first thought of doing this podcast, the first thing I thought of, I'm like, well, I gotta open with a rickroll. Like, that has to happen. That is, like, step 1.
That's, internet rules.
In talking about the internet. Even though rickrolling hasn't happened for, like, 5 years, I feel like.
Well, yeah, I would say,
kind of got played out.
Yeah, it's definitely been overdone. I mean, even in the YouTube Rewind video that they did this year, they had a little segment of that where it kind of like just stopped. It was like A to Z internet, and then like he butted in somewhere random, and it wasn't funny. It really wasn't like
It's
as
like
funny as it was.
You remember the game?
You mean the game I just lost?
Yeah.
Great.
Like, but that hasn't been a thing either.
Well, yeah, I mean, not really. I mean,
Or maybe it still is a thing, and it was only a thing when we were in high school, and because only high schoolers would really care about it.
Yeah.
But
Watch it be like a thing at work. Like somewhere there's an office that's like, hey, Gary, so you got the business plans for the next meeting? Oh, yeah. I got the marketing stuff. Yeah. Did you remember the game? I'll see you in the next meeting.
No, this
Like,
is what I want to see. I want to see, like, Obama doing a speech, and just in the middle of it, it's just like, and together, as a nation, damn it, I just lost the game.
Yeah, just, also, the game. You've lost it. And then everyone's like, wait, what? And then meanwhile, like, there's the one internet troll at home that goes like, damn it! But yeah, that, because honestly, even just in the few, like, seconds we've been talking about this, we keep going
8 minutes, technically, but continue.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like the small amount of time we've been talking about it, we've already unleashed this whole can of worms of the internet that has obviously affected us through our lives. I mean, I feel like people at home need to know who we actually are, so let's jump into that.
Oh, we never even said our names at the top of this.
This
That's
is so
usually
weird.
what people do at the beginning of podcasts.
Hi, I'm Michael Hunter.
And I'm David Spencer. Or I like to call him Mikey Mike and the Hunty Bunch.
And David Dispenser.
Dispenser.
What are you dispensing here, David?
Today I'm dispensing bad jokes.
So any other day, David?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
we're thank you the internet.
Yeah.
Okay, I do want to talk and just go off on a tangent about how we came up with the title, because this was a point of discussion, because this is a funny story.
Yes.
Because we were trying to come up with a title, and for a while I was thinking, like, kids of the internet, because that's who we are. Like, we are both, well, I'm 23. Oh,
we're both 23.
You're 23, okay.
Yeah.
Today's my birthday. Shh. So yeah, 23, meaning, like, we were in 6th grade, middle school, when, like, internet videos became a thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I would have been a freshman in high school when YouTube became a thing. Mm-hmm. And how that has affected, like, our lives. So I was thinking, like, kids of the internet, because we were kids of the internet. And we went off on a whole tangent of trying to find a better title, but the best moment ever was Michael starts going off talking about, like, the meaning of brothers and brotherhood, and, like, ooh, there could be something cool in there. So I do a Google search for brothers of the internet.
Oh, God.
Okay, the first thing I come up with is something from Sean Baby's website. Sean Baby, who is, he's a writer on... Cracked, yes.
Yeah.
And so something that, like a letter, an email he got or something, about calling his page, filth, and saying, like, your page is filthy. We have not seen many pages filthier than yours, spawn of Beelzebub. And it was signed St. Peter, and, oh God, it's amazing.
We are a band of brothers, but we have one female member, Saint Teresa. It's like, what?
And this is what I love about the internet, is finding stuff like that. So quickly, we did not want to be associated with
band of brothers,
yes.
or brothers of the internet.
But I think what happened was, like, we were just searching around random stupid stuff. I showed a goofy picture, and Michael's like, "Thank you, internet," and we're like, "There it is.
We had just
There's
stuck.
the title.
Thank you, internet.
Thanks, internet." Because that's what we want to do. We want to thank the internet for being weird.
Well, honestly, and it just goes back to why we're doing this, is to literally thank the internet, one person at a time, and really just share experiences with people, talk about their childhood with the internet, if they had a childhood with the internet, and if not, like, how the internet has changed their lives,
or their adulthood with the internet.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's a evolutionizing thing. That's not a word, but
it's a growing thing. Is that the word you're looking for? It's a changing thing.
It's an evolving thing.
Evolving.
Yes, it's
evolutionizing.
Evolutionizing is a term that's probably going to be on Urban Dictionary, which is
Oh, I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, evolutionizing.
Keep talking. I'm gonna see if there's anything out there of evolutionizing.
All right. Well, this is gonna be awkward, but anyways, so yeah, honestly, that's what this is all about. And David and I grew up in a small town in Alaska.
Yeah, Alaska.
Of all places. And so basically, it's so cold that you have to stay inside for long periods of time in the winter. Also, it's pitch black out there for 6 months out of the year, so you might as well do something with your time. And
your eyes are drawn to the flashy lights of internet flash cartoons.
Yep, and that's
how it happens.
Humble beginnings.
So
chapter 1, humble beginnings.
Let's talk about our fandoms, our lives with the internet, and what we love. And you start us off, Michael. Tell me, where do you come from?
Where do I come from the internet?
From the internet world.
I really like Game Grumps and people who play video games, but not just in a sense of like Let's Players. It's more or less I like really witty and funny commentary alongside it. I like I like being informed. Weird enough. Shows like Did You Know Gaming or
Game Theory
or the like Nerdist.
The best.
Any of those types of YouTube channels, because that's basically where I mainly reside, is the YouTube community. I feel like a lot of people are there, but some people prefer Vine and
you're telling me where you are now, but you didn't answer my question, Michael, of where'd you start? Where's your starting point with internet fans?
I thought the
Thanks for listening to me.
I thought the question was what do I like now? I thought that was the question.
No,
okay, fine.
No, you just don't like me. Nope. Podcast over. Bye, guys.
Oh, and David's leaving. David, come back.
Never coming back.
David, come back.
I'm never coming back. I'm never, ever coming back home again.
Oh gosh. Okay,
I'm tearing up my return.
If I answer your question, will you stop quoting Weird Al Yankovic? All right.
I will never stop quoting Weird Al.
All right. You know what? That's fair. That's
okay,
an unfair question.
Continue.
Where I came from the internet, my first earliest memory of the internet, which is a better way to pose that question, David.
So now it's my fault.
My earliest memory of the internet is being in the school computer lab and watching Flash cartoons on Newgrounds. Specifically, I think it's called Stick Wars, which was like a weird Flash cartoon about Star Wars stick figures. It was watching it, like I watched it the other day, and it's not as funny as I thought it was, but it was something that was funny, fart jokes and stuff like that. Like as a 6th grader, as a middle schooler, like I thought that was hilarious. As well as what I would grow into more is Strong Bad and the Homestar Runner cartoons. I loved those shows growing up. I have all the DVDs. You could ask my dad. Like he kept rolling his eyes at me every time I asked him to break out his credit card because oh my gosh, I had like the Kick the Cheat doll. I had the T-shirts. Some of those shirts I have to put away now because I
think the first time I met you, you were wearing a Trogdor hat.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it was like either a Trogdor hat or Trogdor shirt. Either way, like I love that. I love that show, and it's influenced me as a content creator myself in both my writing as well as what I like to watch, because it's that witty humor, that wordplay that I eat up. And since then, Flash cartoons haven't been like, they've evolved into something a lot more. It's not so much just on like Newgrounds or something like that anymore. Now it's a full YouTube community behind it. But, that's kind of actually how I got tied into Game Grumps and all that. Like, Ego Raptor was a big Newgrounds Flash animator, and so that's how I got all tied into that, and that's why I want to do voice acting and acting in general. So that's where I'm from. What about you, David?
Well, you just said, where am I from type thing, which I believe is the way I worded the question to you earlier, so...
Okay, well then,
no.
What's your earliest memory of the internet, and how did it bring you to here?
Okay. Okay. No, so for me, like, I remember, I think that, like, really getting into, like, I remember my dad doing, like, chat rooms and stuff as, like, my first exposure to things, or, like, and I think some of my first exposure was weird Flash games, like, oh, what was the one? Was it Kitten Cannon? I think that's what it was. But I think I remember in middle school, I was in this class that was called, so it started off, I was in elementary school. I was put in this GT program, which stood for Gifted and Talented, though the teacher always joked that it was just Geeks in Training. And really, I'm pretty sure the only reason I got into that is because I was really good at test taking. And, but then in middle school, the version it was, our teacher was a crazy person. He was awesome, but he was a crazy person. And he spent most of the time just highlighting weird internet stuff, which was actually, now that I think about it, really good, because he was really forward thinking about like where content was going and like what kind of stuff to inspire in people. And so I remember in that class we had so much just free time of doing nothing and just dicking around on the internet and discovering albino black sheep and watching the Demented cartoon movie, which, if you've never seen it, it's 30 minutes long, but go watch it. It's crazy.
Like, David only showed me like the first like what the movie trailers were supposed to be for, and it
is such early Flash animation, terrible. Like, and I got really into a lot of those Flash cartoons, things like The End of the World or Jib Jab or Weeble stuff. And and I remember in middle school, I don't remember how this connected, of something about me joining the wrestling team, and I made a bet with my mom that, like, and as you can probably guess by the fact that I'm making a podcast, I'm a skinny nerdy white kid, and I remember making a bet with my mom that it's like, okay, because I really wanted the program Flash, so I could, try to make cartoons and stuff. So I made a bet that I would stay in the team the whole year, and then I would get Flash and like $50 or something like that. And I did it. And I lost every match, and I was the worst person by far, but I stuck with it so I could get Flash, and then I played with it for about 2 days and never touched it again.
Do you still have it, though?
I don't know. I think so.
That's a travesty, my friend. If you don't, like, give it to me. Like, I have a drawing board. Or even Hunter, our mutual friend, like he draws now. Like he got a nice little tablet.
Well, and then going into high school, that's where I met good Mr. Michael Hunter, Mikey Mike and the Hunty Bunch, Mike of the Hunter. That's a Night of the Hunter 1955 reference.
Yep.
But and that's where, like, and again, this was much more Michael than it was me, but of just how many videos did you make in the span of those 4 years of high school? It was something like 150 YouTube videos.
Something like that. I mean, and it started when I got like a little handheld, like point and click camera. Something that looking at nowadays, you'd only see like moms in their like late 30s, like carrying around, or like tourists who just want a disposable phone in case it gets, or a disposable camera in case it gets broken. But let's see. I honestly, I want to say, it was close to 100 videos, because that's all we wanted to do. We wouldn't even write sketches. Half of the time it would just be improv. Of the time
it was just 30-second bits of like our drama friends. And like, again, this was mostly Michael and our mutual friend Hunter, because with your Hunter Productions thing.
Yeah.
But I was a part of a lot of them, which was fun. I took over the YouTube channel for a week, and that was fun.
We had a bunch of videos where basically David decided to reenact all of our videos that we did.
Just me.
With just him.
Oh, it was wonderful. It was
glorious. You can actually see those videos.
Oh, why are we going to? No, let's not plug it.
Let's not. We're not going to plug it?
You can if you want.
No, I mean, no. If you're not comfortable with us plugging it, then.
Okay, let me just put this caveat that this is high school. I'm not a good actor, and I look so weird in these videos.
Yeah, well,
good Lord.
All of us do.
That's true.
Well,
that was one of the funnest things, is like, we were trying to make a big YouTube page, but nobody watched it. Nobody really cared about it. But you know what? We had fun.
Yeah.
And that was all that mattered.
I mean, oh, geez. Yeah, it was definitely high school. So it was definitely high school humor. And David, you could always edit this part out if you don't want to, not have us actually plug it. But it's Hunter 2007. So just
I'll leave it on there.
Yeah.
I'll leave it on there.
It's for you guys, just in case you wanted to see who you're listening to.
Yeah, but now that's the moment that everybody stops listening because I'm not that guy anymore, guys. I actually am into things.
Well, that's the thing. It's like that was us then. That was us
Yes.
being influenced by the internet then. And so
Yeah.
now, like, as I said, the internet has evolved,
Mhm.
and we have evolved along with it. We
Mhm.
both have gone to, we both have gone to schools to develop our craft. I went to an acting academy. David went to film school. And so now we're, in our off time, we're doing this podcast.
Yeah. But one of the other things that I got really into was I got an iPod for my 14th birthday, I think, and immediately just started looking at podcasts. I was just I heard of podcasts before, and I wanted to start listening to them, and I have not come out since. I subscribe to so many different podcasts in various forms. Some I still listen to. Some, my podcast lineup has changed significantly over the years. But that has become a major passion of mine, is just all things podcasting. And in fact, I had another podcast before this. This is not a film. You can look that up if you want. Hopefully I can bring it back in the near future. But even in high school, I tried, there were at least I can think of 3 specific times where I tried making a podcast in high school and actually recorded content. Nothing ever came of it because I had no clue what I was doing, but it was fun.
Mhm.
And yeah. And that's again, it's a great thing about the internet age. It's just anybody can create content and experiment with what they want to do.
Mhm.
And that's something we want to highlight on this show. It's is internet fandom. I think one of the biggest things for me, I forgot. That's another thing I have to mention when it comes to my fandom of the internet is Red versus Blue.
Oh, yeah.
I am in love with Red versus Blue.
Oh, yeah.
But recently when Monty passed away, and it was just the biggest thing, and I was just this guy is one of the greatest animators who has ever lived. The way he views action, the way he views animation is so unique and interesting and spectacular. And why is the world not mourning his passing, and why does the world not know his name? And it's just this is a chance to highlight different content creators, why they do what they do, who they are, why they matter, why they mean something to me. Because honestly, I friggin' Ask a Ninja means as much to me as any TV show I would have been watching at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Or, and it's just a guy in a ninja costume answering questions, but they were great. Oh, so great.
And
YouTube.
Oh, YouTube. I mean, you're absolutely right. And nowadays, we are trying to assimilate YouTube TV shows, YouTube channels to TV shows.
Yeah.
Pure
Ownage did that.
Yep.
Drunk History.
Yep, Pure Ownage, Drunk History,
Adventure Time.
And a lot more of the YouTube icons that we have nowadays. Like Gracie and now Drunk Kitchen, I think, is getting a show or something like that. And it's just really interesting. Annoying Orange, for example, got its own TV show. Now, arguably, a lot of people don't like it for specific reasons, but a lot of people love it. And
one thing you can't deny is that it's crazy that a YouTube thing is getting a show.
Yeah, not only just a show, but a show on a good network.
Yeah.
Cartoon Network may not be the same network that it was when we were kids, but it's
not necessarily a bad thing.
Exactly. It's grown. It's also evolved. And so when you're looking at content nowadays, it's a lot of that stuff, if you're an adult looking at it and going this is stupid, well, it's not meant for you. You know, and it's just because we're so used to a specific content, and now younger generations are used to 11 seconds to deliver entertainment, and then that's it. That's Vine for you. Vine and Instagram.
Well, what's really interesting about viral videos on the internet, and there is a science to it. Mm-hmm. And in fact, the whole Gangnam Style thing, that was somebody looking at like statistics, data, cold hard facts to be like, okay, what's going to get popular? We have to have this kind of dance. We have to shoot it in this kind of way. We've got to be able to, and it worked.
Oh, yeah.
It was, I mean, it's almost the same way that the way Netflix chooses their content. It's very cold hard facts. But at the same time, they still produce good content out of it, which is where the scientist in me wants to be like, yeah, that's not a bad thing. Being like, what are the reasons people are going to watch things? Because like House of Cards, that got greenlit because Netflix looked at their numbers and said, people like Kevin Spacey, people like political thrillers, people like David Fincher, so we'll put this together, you know, invest in this already established property. And a lot of people can look at that and say like, that's a very like cold way of making art. And it's like, yeah, but it worked.
Well, see, it wasn't so much like they're like, okay, well, we need to find this and this and this.
Yes.
It was like, okay, this is a product that we've been given. Does it match criteria that would show success?
Well, and also the difference also is that it was only being cold and statistical about choosing it.
Okay.
But when it comes to creating it, they still give their creators almost full control.
Which is absolutely
wonderful.
Brilliant. I support them 100%. That's basically
and that's where, again, going back to the whole internet thing is like, I think one of the biggest ways that internet is changing content is that we are able to get a perfect amount of numbers. Like Netflix, they're not guessing in the wind like the friggin' Nielsen system. They know exactly how many views each thing gets. And that's, again, not a perfect science. Like sometimes you're like, I don't know why this gets way more views than this. As we were talking in the future.
Yeah.
Something we recorded in the past, but will be released in the future.
Oh, jeez. It's Primer all over again.
But it is something of like, again, like audiences having a direct contribution to things is so freaking cool.
Segue to that. Patreon is a huge thing right now. It is probably that I've seen more people plug a Patreon account than I've seen anybody plug a Kickstarter. Like it's because it's like Kickstarter in the sense of, like, in case anybody at home listening doesn't know what it is, Patreon is basically a subscription based type of support system.
It's kind of like Kickstarter, but you give every week or every month to content creators who release stuff every week, every month.
Exactly.
Whatever.
It's like, or sometimes it's like every video, and then you also get incentives for how much you pay and for how long you choose to pay. You can stop at any time, as far as I know, but and they have like a weird cap where like, say if a YouTuber that you're supporting is producing content and you pay like $50 a video and he releases like 5 videos in a week, you know, they're not gonna say, okay, you have to pay this much money.
Yeah,
you know, it's a very thought out system, and that's where so many people are going nowadays, because that's the way that people are making their money, to be honest. You know, talking to any YouTuber, I bet you in the future we're going to be hearing a lot of, I don't make a lot of money off of YouTube, or I don't make a lot of money off of Vimeo. And that's not that's not bashing YouTube. That's just, in the grand scheme of things, they only get paid by clicking on advertisements. And that only happens so much because so many people use ad blocker.
And that's also a thing, is that like with like ads, I so hope are going to be a thing of the past. Or at least a lot of useless ads. Like, and that's one of the things I love about podcasting, the way podcasts are monetized and stuff, is that like the type of ads on podcasts most of the time are generally like products that people are interested in, and they're done in like, I don't know what it is, but it definitely, it puts the power into the hands of the creators. And like, that is something that art has always been ruled by the people with the most money. And like in the last 30 years, it's been advertisers. In the past, like in the Renaissance, it was the high class people who want to be like, I'll pay you this if you paint me this. But now we're coming to a point of the globalization of culture, the globalization of communication, where audiences say, I want to give directly to the content creator, and it becomes so much more about the audience, and it's wonderful. I love it. I love it.
A lot more people nowadays are wanting to see good quality content that they can control, that they feel that they've contributed to. You know, even through Kickstarter in the beginning, a lot of people were super stoked about certain things, even if it was a joke. You know, half of the time, like the whole potato salad thing.
The potato salad. I was just gonna say,
oh gosh, that, like, the guy, I think the best part about it too is that when certain things like that happen, you know, like, oh, this guy made like $60,000+ on this potato salad, and he didn't just keep all the money for himself. He thought of others, and we're living in that time of age too, where because of all the internet and because we're so connected and in the know-how, or at least us, we're kind of more humanitarian about it.
Yeah,
like we want to help people in more ways than one, even though we are in ourselves trapped in this kind of harsh economy at the moment, you know. We still feel like we need to share the wealth, and I really appreciate that. I appreciate, you know, that the internet has sparked that, because otherwise, I don't know, if we didn't have the internet, I feel like we wouldn't be living in such a fruitful time in terms of art, or in terms of just being a humanitarian.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things, like, I'm a huge fan of Cracked, Cracked.com, obsessed with the Cracked podcast, and one of the things that Jack O'Brien always says about, like, the way he views the world, Jack O'Brien, who's the editor-in-chief of Cracked.com, and just, like, he has such this optimistic view of just, like, hey, we think we're in, like, this economic slump, and we are, but there are so many more people contributing ideas of how to fix things. You know, 100 years ago, we thought we would never be able to get past certain diseases, and guess what? We have. It's just a matter of time before we figure out solutions to world hunger, to cancer, to so many problems, because there's so many people contributing ideas, and as long as we keep that going, then, like, good things are going to come of it. Cool things are going to happen.
Oh yeah, it's only a matter of time.
Exactly, and that's I love it. I love the age we live in,
and so that's why we're focusing on the content creators too, because we can't really focus on the connectivity that we have, because otherwise we would just be talking about Facebook, and we'd be talking about, you know, how everybody's connected through that, but honestly, I feel like I feel like the internet could have easily have been just a database for knowledge, and that's it. It could have easily have just been that. Maybe we would have seen TV shows on internet, but I feel like if YouTube didn't exist, we probably wouldn't see as much, like, content creators as we do now. Because, you know, and I feel like a lot of people only stick to, like, one section of the internet, you know, that they're safe to. But I like to think of myself as a novice of the internet, since I've been there since Gen 1. I've been there since Smosh made that music video with the Pokemon theme song and licking Jesus and then throwing him around. Like, and yes, that does sound as weird as it is. You know, I was there, and nowadays, like, because before it was just like, oh, we have, like, some people who do music videos, and you have people who do covers, and then you have people who do like little sketch videos with their little dinky cameras, like us. But then it evolved, man. Like, and I know I use that word a lot, but it seriously is a breathing organism, the internet. Like, I'm not gonna say literally, because obviously it isn't, but
is it though?
But
what if it is? Ba bum bum. Okay, that was my. Continue.
I'm not gonna laugh at that joke. Okay, maybe I'll laugh at it a little bit. Because nowadays we have, like, what, like, we have content creators. Sure, we have people who do sketch comedy. We have people who do music videos. Now we have people who do covers, as well as parodies, as well as AMVs, which that's not something that I normally talk about as much, even though I definitely was there for that. I had internet fame for like a tiny hot second, and it was right as YouTube was starting to implement their copyright infringement policy. I created
Pokemon All Stars.
Yeah, I created this show called Pokemon All Stars.
Which is brilliant.
Well, thank you, David. I wish the world could actually see it. Maybe someday. But long story short, I took the first episode and the first movie of Pokemon, and I redubbed over all of the characters, not with my own voice, like how most people are doing it now, like Team 4-Star and Little Karibo, but with other characters' voices from other shows, like or other internet memes, like Tourette's Guy was Pikachu. If you know who Tourette's Guy is,
Chad Vader was Mewtwo.
Well, it was just like Darth Vader in general. Darth Vader and Chad Vader.
I feel like you use Chad Vader more.
Because Chad Vader was funnier. And oh man, we need to get those guys on this show.
Oh, I haven't thought about Chad Vader in ages.
Blame society, man. We've got to bring them in. Anyways, but so that's kind of, I actually got a little bit of internet fame for that. I got around, I think it was 50,000 subscribers or something like that, and like over 100,000 views on at least the first episode alone. And I had people doing like fan videos of me. People were like writing to me in the comments. Like, I tried my hardest to find any sort of proof for this, and I was only able to find a screenshot. Like there's this archive website that archives websites from, since 2003 or something like that, and they archived my YouTube channel page. But it was right before I got, like, the big rush of subscribers. It was, like, right before. I'm like, no, it's so close, but yet so far. And as soon as I finished the first movie, because it was in increments of, like, 10 minutes long. As soon as I finished it, that's when they pulled my channel. And I've never been able to get that fandom since. But I had that taste and that good feelings, the everything that comes with it, and that's another thing. Like if I hadn't been pulled, I probably would be somewhere else. I probably would be considered one of the first, like the fathers of AMV Hell, which, if anybody knows that's anime music video, but like doing the exact same thing I was doing, except in a movie format where it's clips, like tiny clips from various animes. And it's just a very interesting part of the internet. So
yeah,
you got AMVs, you have
so much internet.
You have dubs.
There's so much internet.
So much internet.
See, and where like you can start rattling off different types of YouTube videos. I can start rattling off different type of podcasts and like how you've got your smodcasts, like content of just 2 hours of cursing as much as humanly possible, next to NPR, which is all very formal and cut and dry, and the greatest podcast of all time, the Star Wars Minute, which everybody needs to go listen to all day long. Greatest podcast on the planet. But, yeah.
Well, I mean,
I lost out of... I feel like there was something I wanted to segue into, but I feel like the 3 cans of dew I had today just, like, all of a sudden stopped working, and you're just like, nope! We betrayed you.
Well,
you've betrayed me in my moment of need.
There's certain things that I feel like in this show, hopefully, we'll be able to cover as time goes on, because seriously, there are corners of the internet that both David and I have not been to.
Mm-hmm.
And
there's a lot of corners of the internet out there.
Yeah, it's like I can't even, like, I don't think there's a term for, like, the gone that is the internet corners. I mean, basically, there's so much out there, and so much has influenced other people. And who knows where we'll be from, like, 10 years from now.
Yeah.
Because, what's big right now may not be big later, but will have easily inspired people to create content.
Yeah.
And I want this show, in a sense, to be, I feel like I could say this for both of us, too. Like, more or less a stamp in the time signature that is the internet.
Yeah, and be able to be like highlighting some of that stuff. Like I think I joked about it at the top of the show, but I almost as like internet historians of coming in and just like what is important, but also why is it important, and what's good, what does it mean, and why do we keep doing this? Why do we obsess over things like this? Why can I quote every Strong Bad video? And because it's good, and because it means something, and
come back, Allie. Come back, Allie, sister. Sorry, yeah.
Good times.
Good times. But see, it just brings back this nostalgia. We're living in a time of nostalgia, and I feel like, I mean, I don't mean to put any generation down at all. I just feel like we've lost touch on where we've come from. You know what I mean?
Well, we're also getting to a point where like where it's just like, hey, Will Ferrell, stay off of YouTube. You have the movies. Let the other guys have the internet. Or just like there's a lot of those big names who are now coming onto the internet where Snoop Dogg makes a podcast and everybody goes like, what the heck, guy? Like, that's for the little guys. You're already Snoop Dogg. You don't need a podcast. And that kind of stuff where that was one of the glorious things about the internet is that anybody can be a part of it. And that's one of the things that I want to keep happening, is that like make it focus on the idea that anybody can be a part of it.
Now, that's not to say that, certain celebrities haven't also influenced the internet.
That's true. Like, there's guys who've done great jobs with that. Kevin Smith, Zachary Levi, Kevin Pollak with Kevin Pollak Chat Show. Like, there's a lot of those guys who got their fame elsewhere and then have still done good things with the internet.
Yeah.
But also Snoop Dogg has a podcast, and it makes me sad.
Well, I mean, and another thing, too, with that, it's... there's certain things that I can understand being upset at, like when, if a celebrity is trying to get on Kickstarter and be like, hey, I still have all this money, but, I still need more money from you guys. And also, like, if I get enough money, then I'm going to...
Yeah. It was so weird.
See, and, and I can understand it. I can understand that people are trying to assimilate with the internet, but that's not what it's for.
Yeah.
A lot of people think, or at least a lot of people in the business, think that the internet is this easy way to connect to us, to make us give them money. And in a sense it is, but it's more than just that. If we liked what we saw on TV all the time, we wouldn't go to the internet. If we liked what we saw, we wouldn't go to the internet. Only for knowledge. We would only go there to look things up on Wikipedia, but we don't. We obviously go to the internet to watch other content, to watch things that we aren't going to see on TV, things that are new and ingenuitive and things that are unique, things that networks will not put their trust into because, it's a fad, or it brings in numbers, but.
Or how is this going to be perceived? What's the public image?
Yeah, and it's just, and so that's why we have that. So when other people who are already established, it's kind of like mom peeking into your bedroom, being like, "Hi, you guys, can I join your little game?" And we're like, "Mom, no, no, we're cool, and you're not, Mom." And it's like that, and then they're like, "Oh, sorry," that's how I view it. And it's nothing against the studios trying to do that. It's just they have to understand that we are not a cash cow. We are not an easy access to money. We will tell you what we want to watch. The fandom has brought back films, brought back TV shows, brought back concepts of video games. Developers who have been out of work for years and now are coming back. I'm not sure if you've looked into it, but Banjo-Kazooie, right? Mm-hmm. Banjo-Kazooie, huge game, big fan base. Rareware was amazing, and then they dropped, and now they're coming back with Yooka-Laylee, which is exactly kind of the exact same thing. It's a spiritual successor to what Banjo-Kazooie 3 would have been, with a chameleon and a bat, and it's as simple as that. And that's the type of stuff that we've voiced our opinion about it for years, and finally they've listened, and that's that's why I have to say thank you, Internet.
Thank you, Internet,
because it's been an honor being able to have you in our lives, and that we're gonna keep you around, because you listen. You are the cool uncle that has like a little bit of money on the side. That's like, yeah, I support your dream, man. I like watching you guys, make your little projects and stuff. They're funny to me.
Here, meet my cat.
Yeah. Here we have a cat. He plays the keyboard. That's pretty cool. Film him for a bit. Thanks, Internet.
Thank you, Internet. Absolutely. And the fact that it's just like, it highlights such unique discussion. Like, one of my favorite things, like the stuff, kind of internet stuff I'm into, like right now, podcasts, but also things like Cracked, especially, but also like Vlogbrothers, especially, like Crash Course. I love Crash Course. I'm obsessed with like these really informational, intellectual stuff that like seeks to ask interesting questions. If you haven't listened to the Cracked podcast, go listen to it, because those guys bring up such fascinating discussion topics. And again, it's giving a platform to solve the world and to answer questions and to approach things in such unique and interesting ways, and ways that will eventually lead to some amazing things. And again, that's why I gotta say thank you, Internet, because 50 years from now, the world's gonna be so different, and it's gonna be because of the Internet. And like, I don't know how different it's gonna be, but like, I you know what? I tend to be an optimist, and like, the world can improve so much. So many things could be solved. And the fact of not only global communication, but the fact that everybody has a voice and people can create anything, like, that's got a lot to do with it. So that's my thank you, Internet. And that's what we're doing on this show.
So yeah.
Welcome to Thank You, Internet.
Welcome to Thank You, Internet.
So we're gonna try out something where we're gonna end episodes with a YouTube pick of the week. Michael, what do you want to talk about?
Oh boy! All right, I'm gonna take you guys back.
Take us back.
I'm taking you back to Gen 2 of the Internet. And I'll go over the generations later at a later time. But go check out the channel Picnic Face. It is they don't create as much content anymore, but it's just a good reminder of what the internet humor was like.
Those videos were my favorite.
More specifically, watch the 2 Power Thirst videos. They are absolutely hysterical, and even to this day, like, I still crack up. The puns that they have in that are just ridiculous. It's basically them making fun of those commercials that are like cutting edge, really up in your face, and it's
Power
hysterical.
Thirst.
Power Thirst.
If you're not familiar, it's the guys who did Power Thirst.
Well, yeah, basically that's what I just said. Like, just check out Power Thirst, and there's a lot of people that try to copycat that too, but those are like the granddaddy ones.
Do you know what one of my favorite videos of them was that Welcome to Halifax one? Just because it had one of my favorite jokes of all time, which is, what was it? Halifax is in Nova Scotia, which is in Canada, which is on Earth, which is in Canada.
Which is in Canada, yeah.
It's just such a dumb joke. Or just like, the most popular hairstyle in Halifax is the dreadhawk. Coincidentally, it is also the most feared bird.
Yeah, the country's bird or something like that. Like, and there's yeah. So there you go. Picnic Face. Funny Canadians doing their thing, and it's just worth your time.
Yeah. So the video I'm gonna do, Michael hasn't seen this, and I'm gonna get some of his reactions. There's not a lot to hear. I'll just kind of describe the video, but basically, this is one of the other things. If this is some stupid nothing video, but I just get so much entertainment out of it. Look up Ultimate Crack Smoking Warlock on the internet. I think the actual video title is WWE 12 Online Fucker Idiot Gets Made into the Cool Warlock Sissy Bit. Like, it's weird. But basically what this is somebody in character creation on one of those wrestling games made this character called the Ultimate Crack Smoking Warlock, and it is the most incredible thing on the planet. And yeah, so it's basically just a game. Just look it up. Go look it up right now. I feel like I need to.
What? Wait, what?
Somebody created this. Just wait to see how he walks. Ready for this?
Okay, yes, the time, okay. And he's okay.
He just
hits himself.
and then he does this weird like,
It's
like
like
he
a
does
tambourine walk. Like what? And he has like red, white, and blue, like,
and it's just
wings.
Oh god! When I first saw this video, I could not stop laughing, and this is what I love. Oh god!
Why does he keep hitting his head on things? Why is he? He's twerking before twerking was a thing.
Anyways, this video is 5 minutes long. We don't need to watch 5 minutes of it.
God, I don't. What was that?
Oh, and to answer a question from earlier, evolutionizing, not a word.
I already knew it wasn't a word. I already told you this. Like, did you check Urban Dictionary even?
No, I checked just, I don't know, some internet thing. I just did a search for that on the internet, and it was like, this word is not accepted in Scrabble. Therefore, it's not a real word.
Oh, okay.
I think that's
about it, honestly.
That's it.
I mean, hopefully we already have like a cool guest showing up next week.
Yeah, next week we got interview with Caleb Hiles, YouTube cover singer guy, who's pretty cool. He's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, he honestly, I'm looking forward to meeting him, and he has a powerful voice, so and I'm just excited. I guess this is...
And, this is also normally the time where I would say to send us an email, follow us on Twitter, but I don't know what those are going to be called yet, because we're recording episodes before I have a Gmail set up and a Twitter account set up, so,
Look me up on IMDb.
But in the meantime, you can say, you can follow me on Twitter. I'm at David W. Spencer.
And I'm at Arctic_Ginger.
Arctic Ginger.
Arctic
I like
Ginger,
it.
Yep.
See, I actually went with just my name, like a normal person.
See, but that's boring. I'm going to be the next Chris Pratt, and then people are going to be like, who's Arctic_Ginger? And then I'll be like, oh, but there's like a blue check mark next to it. It seems legit.
Wait, what's Chris Pratt's Twitter handle?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm
I
just
thought you were
saying,
making a reference to the fact that his Twitter handle is not his name.
Oh, no. Well, never mind. Edit this out. Edit it out, David.
Which is the key phrase to say, I'm never going to edit this out.
Damn it. But, also...
And then subscribe to us on iTunes, write us a review on iTunes, leave us a rating. That's the biggest thing to get a podcast growing. And I really want this to grow to the point where, we've got some really cool people that we're planning on interviewing for the first couple episodes, but I want to interview some really big names. And that will happen if you guys listen, and more people will listen if you subscribe and leave us reviews on iTunes, because that's the best way. That's still the best way to attract new listeners, because people will go through the iTunes library, see what the top podcasts are, and top podcasts happen because of people leaving ratings and reviews and subscribing. So if you do that, that means that we'll be able to interview the godfathers of the internet.
For real, though. I mean, I'm staring at a list of names, and it's... Yes.
Of everybody we would want to interview.
And the whole entire page is filled up.
Oh, man. There's so many people. There's so many cool people out there.
So, let's get it done. Let's get it on.
Do you have any other projects you have going on? I don't know if you have any projects to plug.
I'm not really.
This would be my chance to plug other podcasts, but my only other podcast is on hiatus right now, so I'm not going to plug it. I already mentioned it earlier in the show. This is not a film. You can look it up. You don't have to, though. But
well, see, I guess the only thing I would say is, if you really want to know what I'm up to, just check out my IMDb. Just type in Michael William Hunter, and you'll see what I've been up to. But yeah, the more views on that, I guess, the more higher up on that list I go, and the more people pay attention to me. So
I guess you could also look me up on Star Wars Card Trader. I'm at Isalmari, Ysalmari. Star Wars Card Trader. It's like digital trading cards, Star Wars.
See, you can cover
This is
that
like,
part of the
This is
internet.
like my newest obsession, and I can't stop. It's a problem.
You can cover that part of the internet by yourself, buddy. I ain't touching that with a 10-foot pole.
Well, only if you cover YouTube poop by yourself.
Oh no, I'm bringing you through that shit. We gotta no.
Literally.
Literally.
Okay, well that's our podcast. Thank you everybody for listening.
Yeah, thanks guys.
And thank you, Internet.
Thank you, Internet.